What is going on, everybody? It's Garland here, bringing you another Neverwinter video, and I am excited today. Why? Today we are going to teach you how to get your Dragonflight armor. I got a tweet late last night that said some people were actually completing the Greed of the Dragonflight event on PS4. This video is going to be more geared toward those PS4 players, as the PC and Xbox community is well aware of how to get their Dragonflight. But if you are new and you were curious and you weren't exactly sure how to get your Dragonflight armor, this video will assist you. So we are here in the Stronghold, and if you look up there, the coffer is right up there. The bank and the mailbox is right up there. You're going to have to come down here and talk to the outfitter. To unlock the outfitter, you are going to have your guild hall to level 8, and your marketplace needs to be ranked up to level 4, and this guy will sell you all kind of treats. Let's open him up, and the Dragonflight is listed right here. So you have the breastplate, the helmet, the arms, and the boots. As you can see, they do cost a good bit of money. The armor itself is going to cost you 12,000 guild marks, 36 fangs, and 600 seals of the protector. The helmet, the arms, and the boots are going to run you 8,000 guild marks, 24 fangs, and 400 seal of the protectors each. Now you're asking yourself, well, how do I get the fangs of the Dragonflight? They're going to be listed under your seals, and they're going to be listed right below your seal protectors. As you can see, it says Fang of the Dragonflight. I do currently have 39. They actually do cap at 50, so you might want to be aware of that as well. But once you are in your stronghold, and you run right over here to this beautiful gentleman, the Traveling Wizard, he will have a quest, a Matter of Dragons. If you read this quest, it will tell you that you can speak to the Traveling Wizard to start the event, or you can purchase a golden bell from the Zen store to trigger this event. Now, the Traveling Wizard has a refresh time of 2 hours, I believe, so if you can do this strictly free, however, you're only going to be able to farm it once every 2 hours. You can go to the Zen store, go down to Stronghold, and 5 golden bells is going to cost you 500 Zen, which is basically $5, which is basically $1 per bell. Or you can simply transfer the AD into Zen and then buy it that way as well. This is the only place you can acquire the golden bells. They do come from very select few events, like the summer festival that we just had did have golden bells in the event, but you PS4 users have not gotten to experience the summer event yet, so maybe next year. But yes, they are in the Zen shop. These do bind to account, so be careful, these aren't tradable. So you will summon the dragons, you will kill the dragons, and on a successful completion, you will get some dragon fangs. The dragons, this isn't going to be a tutorial on how to do the dragons, unfortunately. I will leave a video in the description that shows us melting the dragons in like 50 seconds, but it's not a tutorial video either. Maybe I will down the road do a tutorial video on how to do the actual event itself, but basically 4 dragons spawn. You have to kill them all consecutively. Once all 4 are dead, you will win the event, and you will get some Fang of the Dragonflight. They spawn, red spawns right here, the blue dragon spawns over here, and the green dragon spawns somewhere down in this region over here, and the black dragon will spawn here. Most of you PS4 users are going to have to most likely split up into 2 teams, 2 groups of 20. One group at red and one group at black or so. You'll get that dragon down to like 2%, and then you will take your groups. One goes to blue and one goes to green, and then you do have to kill them all consecutively. Once a dragon is killed, a 1-minute timer will start, and you have to have all 4 dragons dead within that minute, or you will not win the event. Even if you don't win the event, you will still get some fangs, but it's better to get all 4 to get the most out of the event. I believe you'll get a few fangs from the event itself. It's either two or three fangs that you'll get. I believe it's three. If you get all 4 dragons, you're going to get three fangs, plus you will get one of these boxes. As you can see, you will get 2 more fangs out of this box. So every event you have a chance to get 5 dragon fangs. How do you open these strong boxes? Well, unfortunately, you have to have strong box keys. 20 strong box keys is going to cost you 1,000 Zen or $10. Now, the good thing about the strong box keys is they are tradable, so you can go to your auction house and get keys from the auction house if players are selling them. So that's going to cover the Dragonflight. Like I said, once you do accumulate everything you need, you simply come down here and talk to this gentleman. One thing I want to mention about this gentleman is if that you go down here where it says I want to look at equipment for other classes. Excuse me. I do play a cleric, so I can select the cleric, go down to Dragonflight, and I can buy the cleric armor if I so choose. All this stuff is bound to your account, so you can transfer it via the shared bank to your other characters. So if it's easy that on your main, if it's easier for you to farm all the materials on your main and then slowly load up one of your alts, you know, most people, that's how they do it. Like I said, I do have a cleric. I think he has 2 of these pieces. He still needs 2 more. But I can simply buy it for my cleric and then just put it in my shared bank and transfer it over, which is fantastic. So that is going to be your Dragonflight armor. Now, that isn't exactly the end game. As you look at my gear here, well, we have the Elemental Dragonflight, which is going to be the head, the armor, the arms, and the boots. So now you're asking, well, I have my Dragonflight. How exactly do I turn it into the Elemental Dragonflight? You're going to go over to your campaign. It's going to be Icewind Dale. You're going to have to accumulate 350 overall reputation, which is going to take you about 18 days if you do the quest every single day. You do need a little bit of campaign currency as well, so it might be about 20 days, I'm not sure, but I know for a fact that it takes about 18 days to get 350 reputation. You will get the Ice Forge level 1 very early at 10 reputation. Once you get up to 100 reputation, you will get Ice Forge 2. And finally, when you max it out at 350 reputation, you will get the Ice Forge 3. Well, now you're asking yourself, well, Black Ice Shaping goes to rank 5. Well, let's take a look at it real quick. And yes, Black Ice Shaping goes to level 5. How am I going to get it from level 3 to level 5? Once you get it to level 3, 2 more tasks will come up in the profession itself. The requirements to go from level 3 to level 5 is going to cost you 50k Black Ice and 10 Unified Elements. To go from level 4 to level 5, it's going to cost you another 25k Black Ice and 5 more Unified Elements. So that is pretty expensive. The only place you can get the Unified Elements from is an extremely rare drop from the Icewind Dale Heroic Encounters. Or I believe you can make them from, it's either Artificing or Alchemy. I want to say it's Artificing though. I don't have either of these yet as I don't really play around with it. But you can actually make the Unified Elements. If we go into our assets here, and you will start to accumulate Elemental Aggregate. I believe it costs 8 Aggregate to turn into 1 Unified Element. Like I said, I don't have exact numbers in front of me. I won't know until I level both of those up and see for sure, but you can actually make the Unified Elements. So either from the Heroic Events, which are an extremely rare drop, or if you make the Unified Elements yourself, or they do actually come out of lockboxes as well. So if you open a lockbox and you happen to get a Profession lockbox, if you open the Profession lockbox, you do have a chance to get a Unified Elements out of that. You will need a lot of Unified Elements. I suggest you save them They are expensive. I don't know what the economy is on PS4 right now. If they are cheap, I recommend you buy a lot of them. As I said, you're going to need 15 of them just to level up your forge alone. But however, there is a nice little trick about that. If we hop back into the profession screen, go to the black ice, and we'll go down to the Dragonflight. So here we are, the Dragonflight. This is how you turn your Dragonflight into elemental. You have to have the level 5 forge. Let's click on it. So your Dragonflight, you have to have a Hide of the Beholder, 3 unified elements, a black shaping wedge here, and almost 12,000 black ice. Now the trick is that if you level this up and do this during a 2x profession, for whatever reason, I don't know if it still works, but when I did it, all of this stuff is cut in half. So it's only going to cost you 2 unified elements to make this, and only about 6k black ice. The same thing with the boots. So instead of 2 unified elements, it should only cost you 1, and then about 6.5 black ice it looks. And not only that, but the biggest tip is that if you're leveling up your forge, remember I said to go from level 3 to 4 it costs 50k black ice and 10 unified elements. That is also cut in half. So it will only cost you 25k black ice and only 5 unified elements. That's a huge deal. As I said, I don't know what the economy is on the PS4, but right now on the Xbox it fluctuates. They can go from anywhere from 10k to like 30k per unified element. So if you need 10 of them, that's 300k AD just in unified elements to level up your Ice Forge from level 3 to 4. So you can basically cut that in half if you do it at the appropriate time. I've mentioned in pretty much every video I've ever done that you have to be aware of what events are coming up, what events are going on, and you need to plan ahead. So make sure you're looking at your calendar and planning out, what you need to be done. So if we take a look at the Xbox calendar, for instance, I know we have a double professions coming up. I don't need any of this stuff, but I'm just saying, for instance, right now we have double guild marks going on. We also have double refinement coming up, and then 2x seals, 2x AD, 2x guild marks again, and here we go. At the end of the month, at the end of September, there is going to be a 2x professions and resources event. I'm not sure when this is going to be coming up for PlayStation 4 users, but like I said, you need to check your calendar and plan ahead. So if you get all your materials, you get a couple pieces of your Dragonflight, you're working on your Icewind campaign daily, you're getting everything there, you might have just enough time for that when that 2x profession XP runs around the corner. You'll be able to take advantage of that. But yeah, I've been getting a lot of questions recently on how to get your Dragonflight armor, and then a lot of questions on, well, now I have my Dragonflight, how do I turn it into the elemental? So I just wanted to toss a quick little video together explaining how to go about that. It's really not hard to figure out. I mean, once you get your guild hall date and you're marked to 4 and the guy shows up, well, there's your Dragonflight right there. The problem is people aren't understanding where to actually get the fangs of the Dragonflight from, and that is the event from the Traveling Wizard, which is not an easy event, especially for newer players. You need to be pretty geared up, 2,500, 3K-ish, and then 40 people at that item level, and then still you may have a little bit of issues. It depends. Like I said, this isn't a tutorial on how to do the Greed of the Dragonflight event. I just wanted to show you guys where the Dragonflight armor does come from. As it sits right now, the Dragonflight is going to be the endgame armor. Once Mod 10 does come out, there is a new set of armor. Unfortunately, even at Tier 3 of the new armor, the statistics aren't that much better than the Dragonflight. Unfortunately, everyone is going to be forced to get the new gear because it has a new stat on it called Everfrost Resist. And the new dungeon that comes with Mod 10 has a X amount of requirement for Everfrost Resist. I believe it's 29%. You have to have 29% Everfrost Resist to even get into the new dungeon. So if you ever want to do the new dungeon, you're going to have to get the new armor that comes out in Mod 10, which I don't agree with. Like I said, even at tier 3 of the new armor, the statistics on it aren't that much greater than the Dragonflight. So it's basically going to be situational armor. Every time you want to do the new dungeon, you're going to have to flop over to that new set. The problem is that everyone's going to have to transfer all their enchantments from their old gear into the Everfrost set, and then if they choose after they're done doing the dungeon X amount of times, they're going to have to transfer all their enchantments back to their old gear. It's it's situational gear. I don't agree with it. They've actually the company's actually tried to do this system before with the black ice. You used to be able to infuse your armor to gain more stats with black ice, and you had to keep an upkeep on it. Yeah, it didn't work out. That's why it's not in the game anymore. So we're gonna see how that new system does work out. From what I've heard, so far from the PC crowd is that the material that you need to keep your armor infused isn't that hard to get, but just the fact alone that I'm going to have to always upkeep my armor now, I'm not a big fan of that, so we'll see how that goes. But that's going to be all for the Dragonflight. As always, if you guys have any questions about the Dragonflight, be sure to leave me a comment. I've been trying to answer as many questions as I can. If you're new to the channel, be sure to toss me a sub. I'd really appreciate it. The channel's been growing very fast lately. I really appreciate all the support. You guys have been awesome. I really enjoy doing these videos for you guys, especially the PS4 crowd, because you guys have just been tossed a brand new game. You know, it's only been out a month. There's so much more to explore for you guys, and I'm trying not to ruin it too much by doing these tutorials and guides, but some of the information just needs to put out there. I really wish someone would have did this for me when I first started the game. I had to figure everything out myself, unfortunately. So hopefully you PS4 community take advantage of the guides that I have put together so far. One other thing I want to mention, if you do go to the Outfitter, he does have PvP gear that is along the same lines as the Lion's Mane and Dragonflight. They're basically the same, except one's PvE and one's PvP. I do not PvP, so I'm not exactly sure how to actually get this currency. I really don't have a clue, so I'm not even going to get into it. I do not PvP. If you do ask me about PvP, I will give you the best answer I can. However, you know, don't quote me on anything PvP related, as like I said numerous times, I do not play PvP. But that's going to have to wrap it up. Not much other to say than that. Like I said, the item level on this stuff is going to be 142 once you get it to Elemental. So it's not 145 yet. I believe the new gear in Mod 10 is 145. Item level really doesn't matter at this point, stage of the game. We're going to have to wait and see, like I said, with the new armor and the statistics and what the upkeep on it is going to be and how big of a headache it's going to be and blah, 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 blah. So that's going to wrap it up. I'm going to see you guys next week. I love you all. You are all beautiful. Thank you guys for the support. As always, leave me some comments, leave me some feedback. I'll try to answer your questions, guys. Take it easy.